and welcome back to the Mancalorians, a Star Wars podcast. Wait, hang on. Is it episode 5 or 6?
6.
6. Can we start again?
No.
This is like a bloopers. Right, okay, this is episode 6. We're not allowed to start again. Today we have lots to discuss. Mainly, we're going to talk about the Acolyte and also the recent new trailer for Star Wars Outlaws, which is very exciting for a lot of fans, especially me. Aaron, not sure, has the same feeling, but we'll get through that in a few minutes. But first, you can subscribe to us on our YouTube channel at the Mancalorians. You can also follow us on all the socials, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok and X at the Mancalorians. We appreciate everybody who's already subscribed to the channel and is also following all the socials. As always, if you don't want to watch or look at our ugly mugs on YouTube, you can also listen to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. But if you do want to watch our handsome faces, then by all means, please do. Don't forget to like, share and comment. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. And as always, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and let us know what you think. Let's get into it. The Acolyte, episode 3. Mr. Aaron, give us your thoughts.
I liked it. I feel like I say the same thing every time we do this. I always say like, yeah, I like it. Yeah, it was good. I actually did really enjoy the episode because it was a nice little take on a whole different scenario, a whole different kind of viewpoint of what was going on in the world, which I kind of liked. I think I wasn't that shocked by anything because I kind of expected everything that was happening to happen, which I was kind of gutted about. But it was good. It was good. I know a lot of people loved it. I was happy with it. I wouldn't say I loved it, but I was happy with it. I thought it was decent, and I thought, I know, like it could have been potentially favorite episodes for people. But I thought it was very similar to like episode 1. For me, I think it's on par with like episode 1. What about yourself?
I don't agree. For me, I think this was very much story building, more lore. For me, this was the best episode so far. Only just. I'm really enjoying it so far. I think this is the best episode so far, in my opinion. But yeah, across the fan base at the minute, looking on Twitter and stuff, it seems to be the most divisive episode so far. Obviously, we're going to get into the lore, into the legends, canon in a moment. But yeah, for me, I think it's the best episode so far. I really enjoyed it. I can't really criticise it too much, to be honest. There was one slight thing which I didn't quite understand, but we'll get into that in a moment. But first off, obviously we see it's a bit of a flashback episode, kind of goes back 16 years before episodes 1 and 2, present day. Obviously it's a bit of a backstory about Osha and May, basically, and obviously we get introduced to all the witches, etc. First of all, what did you think of the little actresses that played a young Osha and May?
Well,
in terms of like chemistry and...
At first, I thought they were going to be the same actress, but they weren't. They were two different people. What
do you mean?
I thought they might have just done use like this. Yeah, like they did with May on Osha. I thought they were going to do that, but they didn't. So, I thought they were. Huh?
That would have been quite clever, actually.
Yeah, but I thought that's what they would have done, or used like identical twins. But hey ho, they didn't.
They did. They are.
Are they?
I think they are identical. I think so.
Really?
I might be wrong. They do look alike, obviously the sisters, but I assume to me when I was watching it the other night, I thought they were. I know they're definitely sisters. I checked it out, but I think they are identical sisters. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
There's not much in it anyway. But yeah, go on.
But yeah, no, I thought they were good. I thought they were really good. I like how they're bringing in like younger actors and actresses in. They did it with Obi-Wan, didn't they? The Obi-Wan series. and I like that. I think it's quite cool. And thankfully, they don't get as much hate as when young Anakin was on the screen. Do you know what I mean? Like everyone ripped into him for no reason, like as a child. Do you know what I mean? So thankfully,
Yeah,
they get
he was a good child actor as well. He was nothing. There was nothing wrong with him whatsoever.
no, not at all.
He was. I mean, do you know how like deviating away from the topic slightly, but do you know how hard it must be to be an actor at like what between 5 and 10 years, 5 and 12 years old? Like that must be so hard. Like you're not an adult yet. Your brain's not properly like to like remember lines and like it must be incredibly difficult
I think
to be a child actor or actress.
I think in that regard, like learning lines potentially. But if you think about it, like I remember when you were a kid, you used to have toys, and you'd like nowadays I don't know if it happens, but when we were kids, like you'd get your little Obi-Wan figure and your little Darth Maul, and you would like and you'd be fighting each other, right? And you'd make up all these stories. Like I had so many different toys from so many different things, and you would be able to create stories and imagine that world. And like when I think back now, I can probably think back to me recreating Geonosis on Attack of the Clones. Like I can probably recreate that in my head from when I was a kid, from when I did it when I was a kid. Do you know what I mean? So I think in terms of imagination, a kid can do that a lot better probably than the adults can. But then obviously the kind of the learning the lines might be probably a little bit more difficult, the kind of logistics around that kind of thing. But I don't know, in terms of acting, in terms of imagination, what it actually is, I think they probably take to it like with ease, like a duck to water.
Yeah, that's true. I think as well. I think when you're that age, like 12 or below, when you're an actor or an actress, it's also going to be really difficult in the sense that they're so young, they're not very experienced. They've probably not done much like film or TV stuff. So, hats off to them. Obviously I appreciate any actor and actress, but everyone, sorry, but yeah, I thought they were good. I thought May and Osha were good. It's a little yin and yang scenario going on, which we already knew anyway. But yeah, I think they played it quite well. I think it was interesting to see the downfall of May. I think we kind of touched on in the last episode that you kind of knew that the Jedi were going to do something and May was kind of going to get revenge, and that's why she's after 4 Jedi. She's currently killed 2 out of 4, 2 more to go. So that pretty much went how you thought it would when we discussed it last week. But it was a slight twist. But I've just thought of something else, but we'll get into that in a moment. So yeah, we also got introduced to the Force Witches, Mother Anasea, who is obviously Osha's and May's mum,
Mm-hmm.
and is it Mother Coral as well, who are co-parents, I believe. From what we were speaking the other night, and you were not necessarily sure that they were like a couple sort of thing.
I don't think they were.
From what I read last night, I read that Osha and May are their children. So that to me tells me that they're
Yeah, I get that, but realistically, like there's nothing, like there was no romance there or anything. Do you know what I'm saying? Like they weren't co-parenting at all. They was literally just.
I disagree with that.
No, I don't think they were. I think one of them was like trying to look at, like when she went and found them in the woods, and she was like in the forest or wherever they were, and they were like, come back, and she tried to discipline them, and then the mother was there, and then they ran over to her, and like there was a complete power difference in terms of like the mother, and then I don't know her name, the Zabrak woman.
Yeah, Mother Coral.
Yeah, so. Like there was a complete different relationship between the kids with them. That's why I don't think it. I know that she makes reference to her carrying the children, but I think that's all she was. I actually just think that she was like a surrogate. I don't think she has any kind of parenting role for those children.
Fair enough. I feel like she does, because your children always have slightly different relationships with the mother and father, don't they? So. To me, anyway, that's how it came across. But yeah, guys, let us know in the comments. Let us know your thoughts around that scenario. To me, they're again co-parenting, but it might be a case of, like you said, it was kind of Anasea kind of created them, and she carried them. She was a surrogate mother, whatever. Anyway, that was a nice little segue into the how May and Osha came about, because my first reaction after watching it, I was like, "What is this? Like that doesn't make sense. Like that's broken canon." But obviously, me and you had a chat last night, and sometimes I forget that not everything is black and white. Like, there's a lot of grey areas, and people don't talk about that enough in Star Wars. And people are just very black and white with it. And Leslie Headland said from the get-go, before it even started, she said, "Look, you're gonna start doubting things. You're gonna think that the Jedi aren't necessarily all these. We've always been told that the Jedi are the good people, the good guys, and the Sith are the bad guys, which generally is true. But
I don't know if
we'll
that's
get
the case, because, like, even though, despite, like, we're supposed to think that, right? We think that because we were kids, but then as you get older, and you kind of listen to, I remember listening to Count Dooku talk, and I'm thinking to myself, actually, like, he's got a good point there. And then when you know about the Jedi and what they did, because obviously we were talking yesterday, and you were unaware of them stealing children up. Do you know what I mean?
it never even crossed my mind, but we'll get onto that in a minute. I just want to talk about how Osha and May came about. Obviously, they were created by a Force switch, basically, and that, to me, my initial reaction was, that breaks canon. What the hell is that? That's not what Palpatine did. That's not the same as the clone armies. What happened to the midichlorian stuff? Like, all that. So to me, I was like, that was my only slight negative at the time, before I spoke to you last night. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. But then when I spoke to you, what did you say?
I just think that everybody's really quick to pick up on things that they don't like straight away. So suddenly, like, there's this brand new thing where she's been able to make a child. But realistically, it's happened before, because, like I was saying yesterday, Anakin was made from the Force, like, he was just made. And I remember reading a theory years ago about Palpatine. Like, Palpatine could have actually created Anakin, and then that's how he was born. Like, I know he didn't have a father, but maybe that's why he was made through the Force by Palpatine, so he could do his whole long-term plan. Now, that wouldn't surprise me, and obviously I know people are really upset and a bit annoyed at the fact that they've just created two children from the Force, but realistically, like, it has been done. Like, it's been done before. It's not nothing new. People, like, when Anakin was made from the Force, everyone accepted it, but now suddenly these twins have been made from the Force, and now no one can accept it. But we accept Anakin, but we don't accept these, because I think everyone's just jumping on the bandwagon again, just hating on the Acolyte. But actually, the things that they're doing, they've already been done. Like the fire in space, people picked up on that and complained about it. But then there's proof.
Yeah.
There's loads of pictures and stuff and videos of well, not pictures, but sort of screenshots of fire in space in Star Wars loads of times. So I think people are really quick to just jump on the bandwagon and slate it. But realistically, the stuff that they're doing, if you do your research, it's been done before.
Yeah, and with the going, just to touch on the fire thing, a lot of people picked up on that, and there was fires in space in the in the originals and the sequels, maybe the prequels as well. There's always been fire in space, so I don't know why it's an issue. But I think a lot of fans, and I'm guilty of this as well, because we've never seen it before in Star Wars canon, or maybe read it in Legends. My initial thought, or a lot of fans' initial reaction, is like, "Whoa, that's never happened before. That's not Star Wars. That's not right. That doesn't belong here." But like you said, just because we've never seen it before, just because it's never happened, like this, for example, doesn't mean it isn't Star Wars. It is now. So that's what we've got.
No,
do you know what I mean? So it's like,
but it's been done.
At the time, say again.
It has been done. This has been done. The only difference now is we've got a bit of a background, a bit more information about how it was done. So now we know that the child that's born from the Force was created by a person. Like, this is what I was saying to you yesterday. So basically, with these new series that they're bringing out, if we look at maybe not Andor, but if we look at Obi-Wan, they go back and they try and sort out how Leia knows who Obi-Wan is, right? So that's not retcon. So they make sure that we know why that happened. With the Bad Batch, um with the Mandalorian, the whole of that series technically revolves around Moff Gideon creating Palpatine, so that the prequels, not the prequels, sorry, the sequels can be a thing, so we understand it. But then we didn't get enough information, so then they made Bad Batch season 3. In Bad Batch season 3, we get a clearer understanding of how they were able to clone the midichlorian count, like, and then all these series that they're making seem to just be a way of explaining certain things in Star Wars. Now that we know that the Force can birth a child, so to speak, or can create a child. Well, actually, it's not the Force; it's somebody using the Force to make a child, which is why I actually think that Anakin wasn't just born by the Force, like he's the chosen one for the Force. I think he has literally been made, probably by Palpatine, created so that he can obviously grow up to be this chosen one and then take over, not take over the Empire, but be Palpatine's apprentice and end up taking over the galaxy. Like, that's, I actually think that is the reason why they've done what they've done, because they could have made it really simple. They could have took that out and gone, they were two children that were born as Force users by witches, because we all know about the witches anyway, and the Night Sisters, that they all use the Force. So they could have just done that and been like, oh yeah, they're just really powerful, and everyone would have just accepted that, like, that's fine. But they haven't. They've done something slightly different.
Yeah, just to touch on the witches, the Knights. Then obviously this covenant of witches is slightly different than the Night Sisters, and I was reading something earlier today where Dave Filoni was kind of a bit of a mentor to Leslie Headland on the show, and he's obviously chief creative officer at Lucasfilm, and he basically said to her, look, like, not every witch, or not all witches have to be Night Sisters.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, is this the first time we've seen Force witches? Or do the Night Sisters use Force as well?
They do. I'm sure they do, but it looks green, doesn't it? It's like green smoke, I'm sure.
Well, is that not just magic? I think that's just something different, right?
No, I'm sure it's the same thing.
I don't think it is, but let us know in the comments if you're listening, or if you're watching. Let us know. Yeah, we'll double check that. It's interesting though. But yeah, I thought the witches was quite refreshing to see different type of witches, because the only witches we really see, or obviously we've really seen so far, is the Night Sisters. Obviously these were a bit different. They've kind of got weapons as well, which I picked up on, which was quite cool. So that was interesting.
But then it was an interesting point that if you actually think back, this is the second time that we've seen the witches, so to speak, because Tales of the Empire had different clans of witches.
That's true, yeah. I forgot about that.
So again, there you go, that they've put that in there as well, so it kind of helps us understand that there's different variations of, they're not just one Night Sisters in this one town, on this one planet. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's variations of them.
Yeah.
Like a cult, I guess, or some sort of religion, like the Jedi's, basically.
Yeah, it's basically. On the Jedi, so obviously the Jedi are spies. Basically, they just recruit children. They go out in the galaxy, look for children who are Force sensitive, and from speaking to you last night, they just basically snatch kids, and you're not allowed to go back home to see your mum and dad or whatever. You're not allowed any relationships, and they're just stealing kids and creating Jedi. And
that's the
it never occurred to me that that's what they actually do, because I think you're right. Jedi's don't have. I mean, in Legends and some of the books and whatever, and canon, I'm not sure about. Obviously, Luke gets married to Mara Jade in Legends. Obviously, they have kids. Both of those kids become Jedi, etc., etc. So, I'm thinking, yeah, like, how can you maintain the Jedi Order? How can they keep being Jedi every other year because there's no one gets married, have kids, so it's going to end at some point. But then no, obviously they steal kids. That's the only way to keep Jedi's going. And I've just never, because I've not read the books, and I don't know. I don't know. I'm probably a bit old school, like stuck in, because sometimes like I'm old school in the sense like my mum, for example. My mum's a big Star Wars fan, but she literally knows. If I said the word Star Wars Legends to her, she wouldn't have a clue what I'm talking about. Like Star Wars to her is literally 9 films, 2 spin-off films, and The Mandalorian, Ahsoka, etc. But it's so much more than that, and obviously I know that. But sometimes my initial thinking is very much just kind of focused on the Skywalker saga, but like obviously speaking to you last night, I was like, the Jedi are good, but like the Peacekeepers, right, and whatever, they're the good guys, but how they go about doing what they do it's wrong. It's bad.
I just think
they're basically human traffickers.
that's
what they are. Like, don't get me wrong, they're snatching kids from families with their permission. We'll get into that in a minute. And then they're teaching them, and they're going to teach them to be, you know, Jedi Masters one day, and Jedi Warriors and Peacekeepers in the galaxy, and that's great. They fight for the good, but it's how they do it. It's completely. When I'm thinking about it now, it was blowing my mind last night, and it's completely insane. Like completely insane.
Yeah, it's mad. Like it is mad. Like they literally go over to a place and go, I'm going to test your child to see if they've got. Do you know what it's like? It's like this new ban they've brought in with the dogs, yeah. Where if they see one, they go, that dog's banned, I'm going to go test it out. That's basically...
In the UK,
huh?
Is it with the... That's in the UK.
Oh, yeah, in the UK, yeah.
Is that with, like, Pitbull, whatever the...
Yeah. That's what the Jedis have done, basically. That kid there can use the Force, I'm going to go test it, and if it can, it's coming with me, basically.
And you won't see him again.
You won't see him again, yeah.
That is absolutely mental.
But it's because...
But then
It's because they can't have attachments. That's why they can't. That's why they won't go back and see the family, because they can't have attachments. Because attachments lead to fear, and then that leads to the dark side, doesn't it? So that's.
But fair enough. You're not allowed to get married, have relationships. I get that. Have kids, but you should be allowed to at least have a relationship with your mum and dad. You should be able to go back home at least once a month.
Yeah, but that's where that temptation or that dark side creeps in. That's why they don't allow it. But like I was saying to you yesterday, we don't know what's happened previously for this teaching to be in place. We don't know.
Correct.
And actually, we'll probably understand why when they make Jedi Prime. That'll probably explain why, hence why this is coming into place.
Yeah, because that's going to be like the earliest. Well, it's going to be the earliest point. Obviously, where we're at now, at the end of the High Republic, this is the earliest point in the Star Wars era so far. But during the Jedi Prime, that is literally at the start or just before Jedi is even a thing. So yeah, that's going to be very interesting. But yeah, Jedi's. All this time I've been thinking, oh, great, I'd love to be a Jedi. What kid like Star Wars doesn't want to be a Jedi when they grow up? Oh, they're the good guys. Oh, bad guys, Sith, red lightsaber, kill him. Like
they are good guys. Like yeah, they're not. They might not be doing the right thing, but realistically, like they're not bad people. They're not doing it. This is what I'm saying. I don't personally think that they're going around snatching kids up, right? Because they want to just take all the power for themselves, which is kind of what the witches were saying, right? I actually think that something's happened where the dark side, because bear in mind, like I said yesterday, it was a millennium ago when the Sith were a thing. So whenever that happened with the Sith, that's probably why the Jedi Order now has taken all the Force-sensitive children so that they can train them in the light side of the Force, and they'll be trained for like peace and justice rather than the dark side of the Force, where they're being trained to kill and murder and whatever the dark side of the Force do. So that's why I think that they take the kids. I think their ends justify the means. I don't think they're doing it as a bad thing. I think there's a good cause there, hence why they do it. But however, when you look at it kind of black and white, they are just snatching kids up. Hide your kids, hide your wife, hide your kids.
Yeah, literally. Like you say, how they go about it, how they do it is ridiculous. But really, they're just trying to obviously maintain the Jedi Order. They're trying to maintain peacekeepers for the next generation for forever, which is obviously a good thing. But like you say, it's just how they've done it, which is completely blown my mind. Yeah, because I picked up on Indara when Indara approaches. Because obviously Saul was on a spy mission. He basically found Osha and May on their homeworld, and obviously saw them in the forest, tracked them down. So the Jedi peacefully approached Mother Inessa and all the witches, and basically said, "Look, where are your kids? We know you've got kids, and we want to test them." And I might be paraphrasing here, but it's something like, Indara said something like, it's against the law or something.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, she said in other words, it's basically illegal
Yeah.
for us not to test the kids.
In Republic space.
Correct. But then she said, but with your permission, obviously, we can test them. But then I'm thinking, well, what if Osha and May's mum would have said no? Does that mean they just would have killed them all, or there would have been a battle? Like, what?
I think so. I think they would have come down in force, because realistically, they're like the police. They're police in the galaxy.
Yeah.
And if someone goes against that law, they will come down on them. And I think that's what they were doing. It's basically asking for permission. It's basically a way of forcing what they're doing by. It's almost a false, and it's a false pretense that they're going, oh, can we just have a look? Yeah. And realistically, they're going, give me your kids or else.
Yeah, they're just being trying to be nice about it, but it's just crazy. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so Jedi aren't so good after all.
Well, they're not obviously not pure, but they're still the light side of the Force.
It's a big grey area.
It is.
I need to stop thinking black and white.
And that's why like right. Yesterday, again, I'll bring it up. Qui-Gon Jinn, right? Even though everyone loves him, like, and he's one of my favourite characters, I think even him, he's not purely good. Like in Master and Apprentice, the book, he turns around and he says, "I turn towards the light because it's the light. It's the light side of the Force. I turn to it because it is. Do you know what I mean? Like, he chooses that because it's there, because it's the light side of the Force, despite what he believes with the Jedi." The same as Count Dooku. I actually think that if Qui-Gon stayed alive long enough, he would have ended up joining Dooku or going down that similar path. But he doesn't fully believe in the Jedi, the same as Barriss didn't. Like, they did her wrong. Like, we forget that actually, realistically, when we look back at all the things that the Jedis have done, when we don't see it black and white and we kind of delve into that grey area, we can see that they're not pure good. Qui-Gon Jinn basically forces Anakin to join him because he uses the Force to control what happens. Like, he ends up obviously the pod race, but like, he basically forces it to happen, and then he goes and buys up a child. Technically, he just buys Anakin. Like, do you know what I mean? But then they do, like, the Jedi, if they want something, they just use the Force to get it. The prime example, Episode 1, right? This is when we first seen it. When Yard walks in with his apprentice, when he first arrives on the ship and he goes, "We're looking for Osha, where is she?" And the guy's like, "I have no idea who you're talking about." And he literally lifts up his hand like this to, like, use the Force. And then the other one breaks down and is like, "Oh no, okay, this is where she is at." Like, they're so intimidating. I think now we're seeing that more. I think that's what Leslie Headland was trying to show us, is actually they're not pure. Like, they still do stuff. There's still going to be some sort of corruption in there. They're still going to force what they want to happen because they fully believe that what they're doing is good. So therefore they just do it regardless of, like I said, that their ends justify their means.
Yeah, and personally, I love it. It's completely awakened my brain. Like, I'm seeing Star Wars now in, like, a different light.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm more. It's just opened my mind, and I'm like, yeah, like, not everything's black and white. Like, there's a lot of grey in this world, including Star Wars. It's no different, and I think this show is proving that and it's it's refreshing. It's something different. So
I think
I'm glad about it.
my first time I ever encountered it, and I'm just trying to think back as to when did I ever realise, was when I played Knights of the Republic 1. And, you know, this you have Revan, and you had Bastilla, and Revan's like a Sith Lord, and he's doing all these Sith Lordy things, and then somehow she just completely goes in there and takes all his memories from him. Like, it's actually quite, if you think about it realistically, it's quite inhumane. She just wipes his mind fully, like, so that they can then use him because he's powerful. Like, that's, I know obviously that's not canon now, but it's I'm pretty sure it's going to become canon with obviously the remake that they plan on doing. But like, it's like they literally take someone's memories from them and then use them as a weapon. It's mad. That's the first time I ever doubted them, to be honest.
Yeah. What else in terms of any other specific highlights for you? What stood out for you in this episode?
Well, I see. So when we watched episode 1, and you see May and Indara fighting, right? I assumed that May didn't know how to use the Force, but actually in episode 3, you see her catch the flying insect thing, like a butterfly. Like, she catches it with the Force, doesn't she? And Osha's like, May, stop! Don't do that.
Yeah. No, they're both. Yeah. They're both Force sensitive.
So it just baffled. She just doesn't use it in. I just assumed that she just didn't have the Force, but actually she does. She does have the Force.
Yeah, well, you see it from the first episode when May's fighting Indara. You see her. She reaches her hands out like that, and the knives come out.
Oh my god! Oh yeah, as if.
Of course. Like within the first 10 minutes.
And it's such a sick scene as well. Of course, yeah.
Yeah, really.
Wow, I'm so dumb.
So yeah, they're both Force sensitive, but I assume only Osha was training with a Jedi at some point. Obviously, May. We'll get into May in a moment, but I don't think she was ever part of the Jedi. But maybe we're wrong. We're only 3 episodes in.
No, she doesn't. She isn't, because they all think she's dead. Because in episode 2, he says, don't, like, everyone thinks she's dead in episode 2 because of the fire.
Very true. Yes. So the fire. We'll get onto the fire. That was quite nasty and sinister, wasn't it? And I didn't expect her. I didn't expect Osha to basically blow her own home up.
It was May. May did it. May set the fire.
Yeah, not Osha. May, sorry.
I think that was just to show, like, the evil nature inside her, or the dark side growing inside her. But I mean, it was mad. Like, that was like, for me, that was just like you went from one extreme. Well, not really one extreme, but you went from one place to like super extreme. Like, how can you go from loving your sister and wanting her to stay with you to trying to burn her alive? It's just mad.
Yeah, it was crazy. But we'll get into that in a moment. Obviously, it happens because Osha and May, they've had the Jedi test, and Osha really wants to become a Jedi. May doesn't. She wants to be a witch, and they've just had that whole ritual thing before the Jedi approached them. So basically, May, obviously, Osha makes a promise to May saying, "Yeah, I'm going to lie to the Jedi within the test." Blah blah blah. But obviously, she goes against the word, and then next thing you know, May's like, "Right, I hate you. I'm going to kill you, and I'm going to blow everything up." And I'm just like, "That's insane." Yeah, but like, whatever, fine, right. But I was thinking last night after I spoke to you. Do you think maybe it wasn't necessarily just May that caused that fire? Obviously, we see it. We see how she causes the fire, what she does. But then, next thing you know, everything blows up and everything's on fire and everybody dies.
Mm.
Do you think? I was thinking, maybe there's something a little bit more to it than that. Maybe she got help from someone else, or I'm thinking, was it just her setting it on fire, setting the place on fire. I'm not sure.
I don't know if it's. I don't think she had help. I don't think she like. I don't think the Sith or the bad dude with the red lightsaber, whatever he is. I don't think he was there to help her. Like, I don't think he helped her at all. If anyone helped that fire, it would have been the Jedi's, I reckon. So that they could have potentially got both children. I think that's the only way that if that fire was going to explode to that extremity and not just be solely May's fault, if she had help, it would have been from the Jedi, purely based on the fact that they tried to snatch up both kids.
Yeah, you might be right. Maybe I'm just overthinking it, but I just thought, seems a bit.
Maybe, but at the end, she's
like, yeah, I know May was annoyed and everything, but then I thought, all right, set that room on fire, not set everything on fire and kill everyone. Like, that was just, again, very extreme. So obviously we assume May, or the Jedi and everybody think or presume that May's dead now, which obviously she's not. I'm just trying to think. Any other highlights? Anything else that stood out for me?
One thing that stood out for me, and it kind of goes back to, when people.
Any negatives? Sorry, any negatives? Anything that you didn't like that you thought? Yeah.
No, I actually really, like I said, I liked the whole episode. There was apart from, there was one thing that did bug me a little bit, and this is like,
the test.
The test, yeah, exactly. Like that stupid test that they did. Like, well, the test wasn't stupid, but the fact that she was like, a mountain, and he goes, correct, and she goes, but that wasn't a, oh, and then he's like, come and talk to me, and takes it, like, no, why? Like, no one would do that. That just doesn't happen.
Yeah, but she's a kid. I don't think she expected him to do like.
No, but come on, like, she wouldn't. She wouldn't be like, it's not that. It's like, no, that just doesn't happen in reality. That does not a thing. Like, come on.
She's a kid.
I think.
I disagree.
I just.
It didn't bother me.
Well, it's not, but it bothered me. I feel like it was made just for the plot to carry on, and I hate when stuff.
I think it was made just to annoy you.
Well, do you know what? If it did, I'm flattered. I'm flattered.
Yeah.
But like, they could have done it many different ways. They could have just done the whole test and been like, correct, and then they could have took it to the side and said, listen, you didn't get anything right, but I know you know it. Like, I can sense it in you. He could have just done that.
Is that what's the word? Is that as enjoyable when you're watching a film or a series? Is that,
for me? It is.
Yes, it makes. I mean, yeah, it makes more sense logically, but I don't think it necessarily means it's more watchable.
Yeah, entertaining. But
you know what I mean?
It was
entertaining.
It wasn't entertaining. It was that what they did wasn't entertaining.
I thought it was quite amusing, to be honest. But
it was amusing. Oh no, that it's not a. Oh, I can't believe I've just said that.
She was like, oh, it wasn't like quite a full sentence.
It wasn't a full sentence. No, she said, but it's not a. That's what she said.
Yeah, it's not a. She didn't go, but it's not a. Like, I don't know. It didn't bother
my
me.
point being is, you wouldn't say that anyway. Like, you wouldn't be like, it's a droid, and then they go, it's a mountain, correct? Wait, that's not a. Like that. You don't do that. No one does that. Especially when they're trying to hide. When you're trying to hide something, you don't go, oh, well, actually, that's not correct. Like.
Yeah, but she's like 10 years old. We wouldn't, no. But maybe when we were 10, we would.
No, I don't think 10-year-olds are that stupid.
I mean,
maybe they might be. I don't know, but I just don't think.
Know,
Anyway, that was the only thing that annoyed me in that whole episode.
Yeah, fair enough. Apart from that, I thought it was really good. Like I said, for me, it was my favourite episode so far. I also enjoyed the connection again between Osha and Sol. Like at the start, when obviously he she approaches him when the Jedi approach the witches, and kind of May's still hiding, but then Osha approaches him and he pulls his lightsaber out, he hands it over to her, and I thought, and then he smiles and he's like, it's that compassion again, and he's like, he's so like, Sully's a really good guy, but now I know about the Jedi, I'm like, no, he's not. But yeah, I feel like I've got a really nice connection there.
Just think, right? Regardless of whatever faction you are in, like even in the not modern day now, like whatever you believe in, right? There's always someone that's going to disagree. There's always another faction that's going to be the polar opposite to it, right? Now, if you're in your faction and that's what you believe, then you believe you are doing good. So Sol, even though he's part of the Jedi Order, what he believes is he's doing the right thing by snatching all these children up. That's what he believes. Because if he doesn't do it, the dark side will do it. Like that. That's how I kind of get past it all. I think he actually believes what he's doing is good. Like he's saving them. He's saving the galaxy. I think that's.
Well, yeah, because they're creating good policemen, soldiers, peacekeepers, whatever you want to call it, and they're creating the Jedi to protect everyone and do the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
They're not creating them to become Siths and kill anyone at any time and just be bad and try to take over the world, kind of. Even though the Jedi are kind of like sort of doing that, but yeah, like how they go about it is crazy. It's not right, but they're creating good soldiers, good policemen.
There's a couple of things that actually I wanted to talk about as well. I forgot to mention it before, but we talked about obviously the children being made through threads of the Force being pulled, right? But there's something I said to you yesterday. I really like this theory that when they create the children, I don't think that they just purely create the children through the Force. I think a sacrifice needs to be made, because I know when we're watching Star Wars Theory, and in that he was talking about how, well, why don't they just do loads of Jedi clones? Well, realistically, like if you had to give your ovaries over as a part of a ritual, because why wouldn't she be able to carry the children herself? Do you know what I'm saying? So maybe she had to give like a whole womb or whatever over so that she could have these children. So if you've got to make a sacrifice, then realistically you can't just go and have as many Force sensitive children as you want. You'd have to like round up all the women in the world and steal all their ovaries. Like I don't think that's going to happen. And then not only that, like the clones, when they made the clones, obviously they were raised at a fast speed. Like they had an enhanced aging, whereas the kids don't. Like the kids age at a normal rate. So you'd have to wait years and years and years and then train them. And like I was saying to you, like these Jedi holocrons, like the reason how they found those children in the first place, I think it's down, if you Jedi Survivor or the first one, Fallen Order. Like he looks for that holocron that has all the different pinpoints of people that are Force sensitive. So if that's the case, then if they've got that there, they would know where the children are. And imagine you round up a load of children, right, that are all Force sensitive. You have them all in one spot, and you're going to try and train them up as bearing in mind, undercover, so no one knows, because you want to build an army secretly, and you have all these children. It's going to be pinging like it's going to like a big, massive heat spot on a hot Jedi holocron, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like a big grow just there. Like that's. So that was that. I don't know. I'd kind of disagree with that point. I think realistically, we don't know that much about it. So how can we even turn around and compare having a lot of enhanced aging clones compared to actual children that can use the Force? I don't know.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. I wouldn't have agreed with you 48 hours ago, but obviously since we've spoken and obviously now this, and it makes sense. Like, again, just because we haven't seen it before. Like, yes, you could say it breaks canon, but, not everything's black and white. There's grey areas. There's new things happening in Star Wars all the time, especially now. So, nothing's black and white. Embrace it. It's what we've got.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that big of an issue. At first, obviously, I was like, whoa, but, yeah. you make sense. So
I also like just moving on slightly to what I was going to bring up before. Um, you know how people complaining that the acting's flat and the characters are flat and there's like no emotion there. The actual scene between Osha and her mum when they're sat there, and she's like, "I want to be a Jedi," and that they hug each other. Like, I won't lie, I was like tearing up at that scene. I thought that was so good, and I was like, "Oh."
yeah, that was a really nice moment. That you know what? I wasn't crying or about to tear up, but that was one of my favourite scenes actually. Yeah, it was quite moving. It was
Mhm.
quite powerful. Like, it was nice.
It really was. It really was, and it
Yeah,
was done so well. Like she's just leaving her
yeah,
mum behind, but her mum's letting her go. Like imagine that's your child, and your child wants to do something, and this is what probably every parent experiences when the kids go off to uni, like or they go abroad or they go traveling. Like it's that I want to hold on to you, but I know that's not what you want, and I want to do what's best for you, and that you could see that, and it was done so well. It was done that well. I actually teared up, but yeah, I don't know. People that are just
yeah.
slating it, jump on bandwagon, saying there's no emotion. Well, actually, there is because
There is. There's so much. It's just they're just lying at this point. They're just whatever they're saying. They're just like if you don't like it, you don't like it. But you don't need to make up lies. To me, you're just being disingenuous. Like it's not. Do you know what I mean? It's just silly. But yeah, speaking of Mother Anasea, I liked Jodie Turner Smith who played her. I think that was a good little character. Obviously, she's dead now, so I assume we're not going to see her again unless they bring her back, which they seem to do quite a bit in
no,
Star Wars.
probably.
But well, no, I thought she was quite a cool character, and I remember when she was that scene just discussed then with those two. I think when Osha says to her mum, I'm paraphrasing again. Mother Anasea says, "Yeah, the decision for you wanting to be a Jedi will be taken into consideration." But I'm thinking, so are you gonna let her? You're not. What if you don't? So what if you say, right, Osha, May, you're both being witches. Sorry, Osha, you're gonna have to deal with it. You're not becoming a Jedi. Like, would you have then? What are you saying now? You're gonna fight the Jedi? Like, obviously, you said you kind of insinuated that's what kind of would have happened. But or the Jedi maybe would have arrested the witches. But then I think the witches they were prepared almost to kind of fight the Jedi. So it would have been interesting
Mm.
to see. Have we ever seen anything like that? Come to think of it, the books, I can't remember seeing it in any of the animated stuff.
There's something in Clone
When
Wars.
the Jedi after children, the Force sensitive, but the parents have completely refused, and then a big war's broken.
I don't know, but I don't know about that. No, don't think
Yeah,
so.
I think that has been, but it'd be interesting to see.
There was the scene in Clone Wars
I
where
thought that was actually going to happen last night. Because obviously in the trailer, one of the earlier trailers, we see Torbin, obviously we see a young Torbin, obviously 16 years prior, and he's a Jedi Knight or Padawan, and he gets the witches. Obviously, he rolls his eyes back, and his eyes are black, and they basically got him under their command, and obviously trying to threaten the Jedi. And I thought that was going to be the part where we saw like Kelnaka. Obviously, we see Kelnaka. I thought him and Torbin and Sol were all going to fight, and the kind of a fight broke out, and the witches were kind of like using magic and whatever. I thought that was going to happen in the episode last night, but it didn't.
Yep.
And that got me thinking: have there ever been any wars before between parents and the Jedi? But don't think there has.
I don't think there has.
Yes.
But then that scene now means that it's going to happen later on. Like something later on is going to happen, which makes me question. Like I reckon that Kalnaka is fighting Sol and Tobin. Like I think he's fighting both of them, or Torbin. I think he's fighting both of them, and that's why he becomes a recluse. I don't know if he's still part of the Jedi Order or not. I don't know. I doubt he is, and that's why he moves away from them all. But I think like whatever they've done, he doesn't agree with, and that's why he ends up fighting them. And I reckon it's about snatching children up.
Interesting.
Oh,
Well, the reason why Ocean wanted to kill the Jedi, those 4 specific Jedi, because they were the 4 Jedi that were approached their homeworld.
they were there. Which then kind of enforces the fact that maybe the Jedi did actually make that fire even worse. Maybe they did, and that's why Kalnaka doesn't like them. Maybe that he disagrees and he was like, nah, we shouldn't do it. And that's why they fight, perhaps.
Yeah, it's interesting because for the life of me, apart from that, I can't think of any other reason why Karnaka wouldn't be part of the Jedi anymore. So I'm really intrigued.
Mm.
Like, for me, there's still a lot of mystery. There's still a lot of intrigue. And obviously, we're only 3 episodes in, but there's still so much mystery around it. I'm just so eager to find out like what happens between Karnaka and Saul and Torben. So do you reckon then, moving on, do you reckon the next episode will still be another episode in the past? As like a long flashback scene, or
No,
you think it'll be back to present day?
I think it'll be present day, and then the one after will probably be a flashback. Because how many episodes is there in total? Is it 6 or 8?
8.
8, right. So I think that maybe we'll probably get a little bit more flashbacks, maybe 2 more flashbacks, but I think one of them will be like maybe like 20 minutes of a flashback or something. I don't think it'll be major.
Hopefully we'll get a full episode again in the past.
Yeah, I think they're going to focus more on May and the Acolyte in this one. Or actually, no, they might not. It might be the episode after. But because I reckon that's when Sol ends up fighting him when he goes, "What are you?"
Yeah, well, either way, I'm very excited. I think you are as well. So, yeah, episode 4 next week. Cannot wait. Every time it's ended, for each episode so far has ended, I've just been like, no, we need more.
More!
More! More! That is Caloran, by the way, in episode 7. Episode 8. Yeah, I think I've lost my train of thought. Don't know. But yeah, really excited for the next episode. Cannot wait. And yeah, I think those were the highlights for me. There was anything more for you?
No, that was it really. I think we've covered everything there.
Yeah, cool. So let's move on to more gaming talk. So we've just had, I think it was recently, around the Acolyte. It was the day before yesterday. We had the new trailer, new 10 or 11 minute gameplay trailer of Outlaws, which is out on the 30th of August. So around 2 months' time from now. I'm really excited. I can't wait to play it. You still have your doubts.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've watched the gameplay. We both think it's good. But give us your thoughts.
I just think that they're using tropes from all these games that we don't necessarily need, but then they're putting them in there. Like, that's just my theory behind. Like it's called Nix, isn't it? The little
Nix. Oh, on Nix. Do you know who voices him? Because he makes like little noises. I don't think he speaks. He makes like little noises. So you know Bradley D. Baker. He voices all the clones of the Bad Batch. He's an absolute legend.
Oh yeah.
He's voiced so many characters in Clone Wars and Bad Batch. Rex, for example. Mm-hmm. He voices Nix.
No way.
Yeah, crazy. I read it the other day. I was like, what?
Yeah.
That guy is crazy. Mad.
Just little noises though, isn't it? That's cool. That
I think so. Yeah.
I like how they've done that. I like they've got like a little. It's like almost like a little cameo, but I like how they've done that. I think that's smart.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever voiced non-humans before and non-aliens. It's always been someone who can talk, but I think so anyway. But yeah, he's voiced so many characters. Here's another fun fact for you: in the last season of the Bad Batch, he voiced a total of 24 different characters. What is that?
That's mad.
He's very good as well. He's so good at voicing all these characters. Like, if you listen to each one carefully, you would not know that it was the same person.
Yeah, I know. I couldn't even figure out now. Obviously, I know he voices the 4 of the Bad Batch, but I couldn't imagine who else he voices. And if you'd asked me, right, when it first come out, if you'd asked me who voices each one, I would have thought they were all separate people.
100%. That's what I mean. 100%. You would know it was just him. He's incredible. He's a really, really good voice actor. So I'm glad he's. Yeah,
I'm glad he's in it.
I'm glad he's still. I think he'll be in the Star Wars franchise forever, to be honest. But yeah, back to Outlaws. So
yeah, so it's got Nix, right?
Nix is her little KVS.
Yeah.
See the leading female character. She's a smuggler. Her little pet is Nix, and he kind of see that she can tell it to like perform attacks or like distractions on like the Empire. And quite cool.
I just think that's the gimmicky part, though. That's what I mean about like the game. Like, you know, it's the sonar, you can like hear where people are. Like, why add that into another game? Like, you have it in every single Assassin's Creed game. Now you've got it in this. The binoculars, Far Cry. Like scanning the area, pinging people, Far Cry. Like, you're taking elements from games that
Yeah, but that's very Star Warsy. I like the binocular scenes in Star
I
Wars.
do like. To be fair, yeah, I do like that. But I just think like they, th- it's literally just going to be. Do you know what? And and
You've said this for about 4
I want
episodes
to,
in a row.
I know, and
Bloody
I want to argue my point, but at the same time, like to be fair, they've taken like all the good elements from all the games and combined them, which I think is a good thing. I just, I don't know. I just think that I just don't want to get my expectations high because I know they're gonna, like the world. Like I said to you the other week, the game, the story, it's gonna look good. Like it's good. The story's gonna be great. The gameplay in it it's phenomenal. Like it already looks really good. I don't like how
yeah.
the pistol changes though when you do different things with it though. That kind of annoys me, but it does look really good. Somehow you can whistle for your mount to turn up, and your speeder arrives. Bit weird, but that happens.
Yeah, I thought that. I was like, how does that work? It's not a horse. It's not like a moving. It's not a living thing. So I'm not sure how that
It's
works.
just
But
Batmobile, isn't it?
I mean, I know you can customize or you can upgrade your speeder. So it'd be interesting to see. Obviously, I don't know. We've not really seen or heard too much detail in terms of like customization and stuff. But it'd be interesting to see.
I know outfits.
Hopefully,
I know outfits change though because there was two trailers. There was the one that people got invited to play, and then there was one that they're showing everybody at the
yeah,
showcase. So there is two, and in that there's one where she's on this like snowy planet, and Nyx goes in to steal an artifact, and they have to like work their way around it. And in that, she's got like a fur, like a fluffy coat on, similar to the one like Han wears. I think it's just not white, when he's on Hoth.
yeah,
So it's like
yeah.
it's similar to that, and then obviously you've got her normal attire that we've seen her in the whole time when she's in the showcase trailer. But
Mm-hmm.
I think it's gonna be good. I do think it's gonna be good. My other regret, like, is that I'm actually away when it comes out. I'm gutted. I said I was gonna book time off work and
Yeah,
everything,
you
and I'm away. I don't even know if I'll get
yeah.
time off because I've booked time off all that whole week because I'm
Well,
away.
you'll have to take the console with you on holiday and just play it.
I'm gutted, man. I'm gutted. But
uh,
then again, do you know what? I'll come back and everyone will be crying because they would have let everyone down, and I'll just be there in the sun,
I told you it was going to be rubbish.
sipping on
No, I think,
cocktail.
yeah. Just to touch on the gun, you said you didn't like the gun. It can do like different things, but surely that's a good thing because if it was just like a blaster pistol, like Han's gun, for example, Han Solo's gun, like it's not really going to do much in the game. It's a bit boring. It's not very like powerful. It's not like you're going to need more than just. I mean, we did see a clip where she's going to be able to use and pick up. I think use different. Like we saw her use a turret gun in one of their scenes.
Yeah, in the first one.
But I don't know what kind of like how much you're going to be able to like upgrade or have different guns, like because that gun of hers, like Hans, it's a staple, isn't it? It's their weapon. So like, I think in terms of like gameplay, it would be. I don't think it'd be good if it was just like a blaster pistol. It's not very effective. It's not very powerful.
Well,
So to me, the fact that it can do more than one thing is it's what she needs.
nah,
No?
because she doesn't just have one pistol. I don't think, like I said, that they're bringing in elements of different games. They're going to bring in the element from Ghost Recon where you can pick which gun it is and like go. You'll probably have a mission, right? Like, and I can probably guarantee this, where you'll have to go and collect all these things and you unlock a weapon. Like that.
Yeah, maybe.
That'll be one of the quests on this planet, and then obviously you've got the gun. She obviously fires it, she changes it, and she fires it. But in the very first trailer that they released, she picks up about like a rifle and starts shooting at people with it. So you can pick up guns, which is why I think it's going to be like Ghost Recon, where you'll if you get that gun, you'll keep it. I find Far Cry do the same thing.
Yeah, you're probably right. What do you think of the space combat?
Well, I was just thinking that it looks okay. It looks smooth. I think that they've improved on the drive, like the driving aspects, because obviously their driving games were never the best anyway. Like looking from Far Cry to the Ghost Recon games, especially, like it's not flimsy, but it's like slow and fast. It looks like it's going to be very similar, but it also looks like they've improved on it slightly.
Yeah, I think it looks good. I think, again, it's the first official Star Wars open world game. I know from speaking to you like yesterday, you said you're not fully convinced that it's going to be proper like free roam open world. I think it will. I think it will be. I mean, I'm hoping it is as well, but I think it will be. From that trailer, like when you see her, she's in Tatooine in the trailer, and you can see like a sandcrawler. Like there's going to be like little things like you can explore and little things on the way to going somewhere on the way to a mission. You'd be like, I feel like you're gonna like get lost and like down an alley somewhere, and you're gonna see and discover things, and there's gonna be people about. There's gonna be Tusken Raiders shooting you down as you try. There's gonna. I think they're gonna put a lot into it. I really do.
It'll be as open world as Starfield is. It'll literally be like that. So you'll if you looked at the map when they're showing you the map, there was like a little area of a map, and then there was like three little sections that popped up, and you don't just fly into a planet where, like on No Man's Sky, you can fly into a planet wherever you want and land. You can't do that on this game. Like you fly into the planet, and then it goes all grey. You can't see anything, and then suddenly you can land. Like it takes you into a cutscene and you land. Like you can't choose where you're landing. You can't fly where you want to fly. Like you're gonna have set settings.
Yeah, there's gonna be set point. Yeah, but I think there's gonna be. I'm hoping there's gonna be more than one landing point in Tatooine, for example. Otherwise, yeah, it's not as
potentially, but it just depends on how big the maps are going to be. Like when you play Jedi Survivor and you go to, I can't remember the planet's name now. It's like loads of sand and there's loads of ruins. Like that's really open and you can run around on it. I think they're going to be like that. I think they're going to be that open, but probably on a bigger scale.
I'm hoping it's not. I don't think it will. I think the maps are going to be bigger than the Jedi games, Star Wars Jedi games. I'm hoping because that's like proper.
They're going to be bigger for sure. Like, don't get me wrong, they are going to be bigger. I don't doubt that, but I don't think they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna be like open world, like a big open map, and you can go wherever you want. I think they're gonna be a lot more. Like you're talking about her driving past the sandcrawler. Well, I think if she took a detour off there and went somewhere else, like she'd hit an invisible wall. I don't think you'd be able to go that far. That's my point.
Yeah, I disagree. I don't think there's going to be any of that. I'm hoping there isn't, but because that to me, if there's going to be like restrictions, and it's not, it's like semi-open world, then, isn't it? It's not like.
Well, it's going to be semi-open world because you can go from planet to planet. They're not going to have open world on each single planet. I don't think they've got enough. They won't have enough time, and they won't have enough memory, they won't have enough space or budget or whatever it is that they use to create maps.
I mean, I'm not saying they have to literally cover every blade of bloody grass on every planet, but I don't want semi-open world. I want open world. They're saying it's the first open world, so they're lying to us, then, aren't they?
I mean,
they should say this is the first semi-open world Star Wars game.
It's probably going to be more open world than what I think it is, but it's going to be less open world than what you think it is.
What I think it is. Yeah. You might be right. It'd probably be somewhere in the middle. But yeah, I think it looks good. I can't wait to play it. Anything else in particular that you picked up on in the trailer? I know we see at the end of the trailer, I think we see what's that species called?
Which creature are you talking about there now?
Which creature was in oh my god. You see him in we first saw it in episode Return of the Jedi, where Luke in Jabba's palace.
The singing thing.
No, yeah, well Luke gets trapped.
That one.
What's that monster called where Luke's fighting and he's in? Remember
Rancor.
Rancor. Oh. I was saying like Rancor. Yeah, we know Rancor's gonna be in it.
I can't imagine a Rancor doing karaoke.
No, obviously not. That's obviously not what I meant. Be cool if you can ride Rancors. That'd be cool.
You can do that on Jedi Survivor.
Can you?
Yeah.
I don't remember being able to do that.
I'm sure you can.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure you can.
You just made that up.
No, I'm sure you can.
Because I'm sure the first time I ever saw anyone on a Rancor or ride a Rancor is in Boba Fett.
No, I'm sure you can do it on Jedi Side. Let me check.
Can we have a quick Google?
Yeah, I'm gonna have a quick look now. I'm sure you can, and then you can ride a couple of things.
Yeah, but
I'm positive you can, because you grab them and jump on the back. So and then like you do like a spin and like slash down them. I'm sure. Or, how do you?
Yeah, but you can't ride a Rancor like free roaming.
No, not free roaming. No, you just do it for a little bit.
That's what I meant. I'm saying, would it be cool if you could free roam on a Rancor? That'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean, it'd probably be quite slow.
I mean, yeah, but it'd be funny.
I might be complete. I'm sure you can do. I'm sure you can jump on the back. I can't find anything. I've got to watch a video. But...
I don't remember. Just trying to think what else there was in. You're gonna be able to like play games of like Sabak as well.
You can go to a bar and you can buy a drink.
Yes, you can park up your ship in space, and you can as well, and you can go off and like do things. And I think there's going to be so much exploring, and yeah, again, it's probably going to be somewhere in the middle, probably a little bit more than what you think, and a bit that and less than what I think. But either way, I know I'm excited to play it.
Yeah, it will be good.
Probably, yeah, it's going to be good either way. But it's just how good is it going to be?
It's not going to be like groundbreaking. I don't think it'll have the same reaction that the Jedi series has got. I think people will like it. I think some people will love it, but I think it won't top the Jedi series.
Yeah, I mean, I think it will. I think it's going to be as good as. But and again, to top those games, to even equal them, is going to be tough because to me, they're the best Star Wars games in like 20 years since KOTOR, basically. So yeah, it's going to be difficult to match them or to be better. But we shall see. It is out on the 3rd of August, and obviously I'm sure we're going to pre-order it, and hopefully you're going to play it while you're on holiday, but I don't know.
No, when I get back, for sure.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, anything else?
No, apart from please subscribe to us and like us and click the notification button so when we do drop a new video you can join us.
Yes, and you don't miss out on any content. Again, you can also follow us on all the socials. We're on everything across all 4 at the Mancalorians. Give us a follow, daily content, and yeah, keep subscribing to us. Like, comment, share, tell everyone, tell your friends, tell your family, tell anyone that likes Star Wars. Give us a watch, give us a listen.
Tell your wives, tell your kids, tell your wives, tell your kids.
But yeah, if you're listening to us, then please leave us a review, and as always, leave your comments in the section below. If you watch it on YouTube, you can also send us an email to the Mancalorians@gmail.com. Let us know your thoughts on the Acolyte so far, what you're liking, what you're not, who are your favourite characters so far.
What you expect as well, I guess.
What you're expecting to happen in the next episode, and always as well, Outlaws obviously is very relevant at the minute. We're probably going to speak about it quite a lot, but I assume that there's probably not going to be any more trailers, but maybe there will be, I don't know. But yeah, let us know what you think of the trailer of the newest trailer of Outlaws. Let us know if you agree with me or if you agree with Aaron. Is it just going to be another Far Cry, another Assassin's Creed? Yeah, let us know your thoughts.
Definitely
let us know
is.
if you're looking forward to it. If you're not, you might be right. But yeah, just let us know. And as always, if we get anything, any emails, any good comments, any questions, we'll always read them out. We do read everything, so yeah, we appreciate that. But yeah, thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you next time.
Ciao.